So this is an interesting development back here. All these bikes. You see a bunch of blue, silver and orange, yellow bikes here. These are all these bike sharing startups that have popped up here in China. So there are tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of these bikes around Shenzhen and millions of these bikes around China. And they've all popped up in just the past few months. So a couple of months ago when I moved here, I didn't see these bikes, and then all of a sudden they're all over the place, crowding up everywhere. And you don't have to return them to any particular spot. The way it works is you've got your WeChat, and so you can just use your phone to check out one of these bikes. And so maybe you check it out from one of these bike rental places, like just on the street, there's like a bike rack and you check it out. But then you can just leave it anywhere. When you're done with it, you can just leave it anywhere out in public and they don't care. And somebody else can just pick up the bike and take it and rent it from there, and then they take it, leave it wherever. So they just get left wherever, and then the bike companies will come to a place like this where it's an outdoor mall and they'll stock it. They'll put a bunch of bikes here just to make sure that there are plenty of bikes available for people to rent. So, and this thing has just gone crazy, and people actually use them here. That's the thing is, if I saw this popping up in the States, I mean, maybe in New York, I'd say, yeah, this is viable in New York, maybe in some other really dense urban centers. But anywhere else, I'd say, it doesn't seem like that great of an idea. But here in China, this is a fantastic idea. People use these bikes. You see everybody riding these bikes all over the place. And so all these companies, they know the potential, so they've raised a ton of funding, and they're just trying to get as many bikes out there as fast as possible, because it's going to end up being kind of a winner-take-all thing where whoever gets the most mass traction first is going to have the most efficiencies to get bikes, to do the marketing, to do everything else. And so you've got a couple of these companies all fighting to win and just blowing through money so fast, manufacturing these bikes and getting them out all over the place. And so yeah, that's what you see. This big mess behind me is just a ton of rental bikes from these bike sharing companies. Now there are car sharing companies popping up too. So if you know the smart cars, you know those super tiny cars, they have cars like those, and you can rent those here, and you can just basically borrow the car, drive it, leave it somewhere, and then somebody else can pick up the car and take off with it and drive it too. So this car sharing is popping up here in China as well.